Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today we are looking at the fourth grade concept of representing data. This is Readiness Practice 4.9a, the intermediate version. If you are interested in exploring the Readiness Practice resources for 4.9a, aligned with the proficient or advanced version, or the Readiness Practice resources aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So we have just a basic table here, and we need to represent this in a dot plot. All right, so how are we going to do our dot plot? Well, we're going to take our answers here, number of pets, and we're going to kind of make that be our, let's see if we can give ourselves a little bit of room here. We're going to make that across the horizontal axis, okay? So we're just going to put 0, 1, 2, 3. We're going to label this as number of pets. All right, and in a dot plot, each dot literally represents how many people we are. And the only thing is you want them to be kind of the same distance apart. All right, so we're going to use red here, and we'll say there are 5 kids that chose 0. So we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when we get to our 1, we want to do 8. So we're going to start with this 5. When we create it, we want to make them, like I said, the same distance apart, so they look like they're in rows. And we need to go 3 above, and so we're going to try to keep those equidistant. When we've got 2, there are 3 students that chose 2, and so we've got 2 different rows to kind of keep in mind. We're going to try to keep them horizontally the same, and then we've got 2 for 3. So now we have our data that matches, and if we wanted to, right, we can real small just kind of write our data up here. We've got 5, we've got 8, we've got 3, and we've got 2. We don't necessarily need those, but those will help us in case we ever needed to solve a problem using this data. It's always good to go ahead and number how much you have. So for our second problem, we need to create a frequency table. And Ms. Lopez surveyed her students, but look at how many apples and oranges and bananas and grapes we have. That's confusing. So if Ms. Lopez wanted to do anything with the survey data, she would need to see it in a much friendlier way. So let's make a frequency table. Now I'm going to start with tally marks, and I'll just go to the actual frequency. So I'm going to go to tally. I'm going to go to fruit right here, and at the end, I'll just go ahead and sum it up with a number. Okay, so what do we have? Apple. We've got banana. We've got grapes and orange. Okay, so those looks like that's going to be ours. I'll go ahead and put them in alphabetical order. Grapes and orange. Now, when we do this, the best thing to do is just to cross off what you have. We can go ahead and use colors if we want to there. So apple, apple, apple. Let's go 1, 2, 3. I see apple, apple. 1, 2. On that fifth one on our tally chart, make sure we cross it out diagonally. I see apple, apple. 1, 2 right there. So with this, we can extend this and we can say number. And so that is going to be represented by 7. 7 people chose apple. All right, so let's do a banana. Let's see if that yellow is going to show up. Yeah, it kind of shows up. 1, 2, banana on the top row. 1, 2, 3 banana on the bottom row. So that's a total of 5. For grapes, we will make them purple grapes. So I've got 1, 2 on the top row, 1, 2 on the bottom row. So not many. So that's 4. And for our orange, we've got 1, 2 on the top row, 1, 2, 3 on the bottom row. All right, so there we go. That is our frequency table. And we got 7 apple, 5 banana, 4 grapes, 5 orange, and that's going to match what we did. The best way to do it is just to cross it off as you go. So now we have scores of 15 students on a math test. We need to make a stem and leaf plot. All right, so stem and leaf plot has a vertical line, right, representing our stem and our leaf. Now, as these are all two-digit numbers, I'm going to go ahead and put my key down below because we always need a key to know what that represents. And so I'm going to do 8, 7 equals 87. So it's going to be pretty simple. Our stem and leaf plot is going to have our tens place in the stem and our ones place in the leaf. So we're looking for our lowest numbers, and our lowest stem looks like it's going to be 69, 68. Okay, so it's going to be 60. So when we do our stem and leaf plot, we start with our smallest stem. In this case, it seems to be the 60s. And then we're simply just going to write 68 looks like this. There's a 68, then a 69 looks like this, because both of them are going to build off of that 6 in the tens place, and then a 8 in the ones place or a 9 in the ones place. So those two are gone. Next, we need to have sevens if they exist, and I do see 7, 7, 7. Lots of sevens. We want to put them in numerical order. So we need to kind of scan back and forth and make sure we're doing our smallest one first. So we've got 7 right there. Looks like we've got a 73. I see a 74. And I don't see a 75. I do see a 76. Notice I'm kind of keeping the spaces between each of my leaves the same like we did on the dot plot. So 76. I got a 77, 78, and then a 79. All right, so next I've got 80s. Let's check our 80s. I've got 81, 84, 82, 86, 83, and 88. All right, lots of 80s. So I don't see an 80, but I do see an 81. Let's see, I got an 82 right here, an 83 right here. There was an 84 up front. Scanning to see what we have left. We have an 86 and an 88 left. So that is going to leave me with my 91. Now we don't have any repeats here, but if we had like two 91s, I would put that second one like that. If we had three 91s, I would list that third one like that. So if you have a repeat, you just repeat that leaf as many times as needed. But there is our stem and leaf plot that represents the data that we saw up there. We can tell we had 15 on the math test, and if we wanted to count, right, we could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You just count the leaves, tells you how many you have. So this is our 4.9a readiness practice intermediate version. If you're interested in looking at the 4.9a readiness practice proficient or advanced version, or the readiness practice resource aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.